heard before about it? Emergency response. Everyone? Have you heard about emergency response before?
Yes.
Emergency response. What do you understand by it? What is emergency response? If an ambulance is going on the road, what is the emergency response that we will do? If ambulance is going on the road, okay, what is the emergency response you will be doing? You will use the road. You will not go in front of it. You will give side. You will go a bit slow so that ambulance can pass, right? This is the emergency response. If something happens, emergency happens in the hospital, if it can be fire or anything. Like we've got a lot of patients, more patients, more than what we can manage. Or there is a power failure, emergency, any kind of emergency that is dangerous to them or it is affecting the patients. Okay? So this is emergency response. What you will be doing at that time? What is your responsibility? There should be some responsibility, right? So in this lecture, we will be going to discuss what is your responsibility and what kind of challenges that we can face in the hospital. Okay? And the challenges, what are the challenges that you have to face? Okay? And what is your responsibility? What is the leader's responsibility? Okay? And then, what is our plan to deal with it? Okay? These are the few things that we will be discussing. So first, before starting anything, emergency response you understood. Emergency response that you will do in case of emergency, the first response, the responsibility. For example, if there is a fire and the patient is there, the first thing is to save him. This is the emergency response, right? So this kind of thing. Okay, the purpose is why we are doing this lecture. What's the reason? Why is it important that you should know about the emergency response? You are working in other departments. You are working as physicians, nurses, all these things. Why you need to know about emergency response or this is related to FMS department, right? Facility Management Safety Department. Why you should know about it? Yeah, the main reason is a legal requirement. The law says in Saudi Arabia, the working in hospital, the staff working in hospital should know what is the emergency response. For any kind of emergency that happens in the hospital, a staff should know what he has to do. Okay? So that's the main reason. Okay, there are two types of disasters can happen in hospital. We have divided in two categories. Internal disaster, external disaster. That means your emergency response. Fine. Internal disaster, what are the examples? Internal, something happened inside the hospital. What are the examples? Fire, explosion, okay, utility failure, utility power failure, flood came inside the hospital, okay, this kind of thing, right? This is something inside the hospital. The condition is, the main condition is, it should affect the patient. If it is affecting the patient. If it is not affecting the patient, power failure in B2, basement 2. No patient is there, right? No patient is there. No problem. We can manage it between us. If there's something power failure in 4th floor or 2nd floor, then it's a critical situation. We have to respond to it. Right? So maybe there is surgery going on. Okay, we need emergency power. Okay? And there is a flood came. So it should be, the water should be available in the electrical equipment. We should have some contingency plan how we will deal with it. Okay? So internal disaster means something happened inside the hospital and the patients are affected. Okay? So what is external disaster now? What is external disaster? Examples are explosion, oil, accidents, all these things. Communicable diseases like corona, like COVID, it has come inside the hospital. Okay? So it can affect from person to person. So there should be contingency plan like masks, all these things, PPEs we are using when we are dealing with the patients. These are the contingency plans. So this all comes in the internal disaster. So what is the example of external disaster? External disaster. Something happened outside hospital and it is affecting our hospital. How it will affect our hospital? Something happen outside. How it will affect us? We are getting patients. We are getting patients, lot of patients out of our capacity. Our ER capacity how much? In ER, if we receive the patients, how much is its capacity? 18 or 15 or 18, right? 15 or 18 patients. Okay. So if you get, for example, if we get all broken like orthopedic, we need orthopedic kind of doctors. Okay. We will have some doctors here, right? And they will not be on the duty. Maybe on the duty 1 or 2 doctors. Okay. Or sometimes burn patient has come. We need lot of doctors, similar kind of doctors, similar kind of physicians, similar kind of nurses. Okay. So we don't have that capacity, right? So this is a situation of external disaster. We need some external help from the management, because we have got lot of patients. 30 patients have come. Now there was some bus accident outside, and we received 30 patients. Okay, and they are brutally injured. Okay, we have to deal with them. We have to save all of them. Can you do ER? Our ER can do it alone? No, we cannot do it. So what we need some external help from other physicians, other doctors, other nurses, from other units. Okay, we need to come together and handle the situation. So it's not easy. We should have some plan. Unless we have a plan and we are following and we are evaluating it, we cannot manage it. If we get some kind of situation, some similar kind of situation. Okay, what are the examples of external disaster? Food poisoning happen, accident happen outside. Okay, and we are getting patients, lot of patients out of our capacity. Okay, what is the code for external disaster? What is the code? I didn't hear. External disaster. Yellow, sure, huh? Good. And for internal disaster? Internal disaster. Red, code red. Okay. Understood the difference? Internal, external, clear? It's clear? Okay. Okay. Our disaster, we have a plan to deal with the disasters that can happen inside the hospital. Maybe either it is fire or water failure, power failure, or we are getting a lot of patients. Okay, so we have a plan. Okay, so to manage it, it is divided in 4 phases: mitigation, preparation, response, recovery. What do you understand by mitigation? What is mitigation? Mitigation means that we are doing now. Trains. Okay, we are doing the drills. Usually, we are doing the drills, right? So these are the examples of mitigation. Mitigation means trying to know what can happen, okay, and get some information. This is not training. Training comes under mitigation. What is preparation? What are the examples of preparation? Are we prepared for disasters? Are we prepared for disasters? What are the examples? This extinguisher is there. Okay, we can use the extinguisher. We have this detector. It will detect if there is fire or smoke here, it will detect and give the alarm. Okay, give the alarm, right? There is a sprinkler. There is a sprinkler here. It will pour water. If there is a fire here, it will pour water. These are all what we are prepared. Okay, so you know how to use this extinguisher. Past method. We know, everyone know. So this all comes under preparation. We are prepared. Okay, we have disaster plan readily available in our units. Are they available in your units? Are they available? Disaster plan. Your department disaster plan is available? Yes? Okay. So these 4 phases. What is that? What are 4 phases? Mitigation, preparation, response. Response means what? Race. We are doing the race and pass. We will do, if there is a fire, we will do the actual response. Like doing the saving the patient, taking him outside hospital. All these things comes under response. At the time of disaster, what we are doing this comes under response. And another last, recovery. Recovery means coming back to normal operation. Okay, during the disaster, everything will be here and there. Everyone will be tired, something like disaster. Disaster means something big havoc. Okay, so after that, we have to come to the normal. Like hospital, now it is normal, right? So like that, we have to come back. It's also a big challenge. Okay, usually what happens if there is a disaster, everyone will work in response and they will go home. The hospital will not come back in the normal terms. This is like a big concern. So that's also recovery is also main topic. Okay. So as I told you, why it is important? This is a legal requirement. Law says us that you should at least you have to know what is the responsibility, what I have to do. Okay. For human development, accountability. Whose accountability we are talking? We are accountable. If you are working in hospital, we are accountable to who? Whom you are accountable. If there is a fire, you will go outside, just outside. You cannot go. Why? Who are you responsible for? Who are you accountable for? Patients, right? Patients are bedridden. They cannot help themselves to go outside. So you have to help them. You have to take them out. Okay? So you are accountable. So all this and contingency plan. We will be talking about contingency plan. Contingency plan. You understand contingency plan? Contingency plan. Example I will give. For example, you are working in pharmacy. Okay? If there is a fire in the hospital, everyone go outside. Okay? The patients are outside now. We will ask pharmacy, give us the medicine. We don't have this medicine. So what will be his answer? What will be his answer? I'm outside now. I cannot give it. Can he tell like that? Can he tell like that? No, he has to provide. He must have some contingency plan. If for example there is a fire and he go outside, then how he will continue his operation? For example, you are working laboratory. Okay, someone asks you blood sample or blood test that has to be done for the patients. He cannot say, I'm outside now. I cannot do. He must have some contingency plan. How to continue his operation. For example, you are working in ICU. Okay, you have saved some patients. Okay, you have taken 2 patients. 8 patients are there inside, and you will come outside. You will come outside. Just come outside. For example, there is a fire in ICU. Okay, you have 2 evacuation beds. You have taken them outside. Okay, and you have remaining 8 patients. So what you will tell? What happened about other 8 patients? What you will tell them? You will tell them we can save only 2 patients? No, we cannot say. We cannot say like that. We have to tell them, no, we have a plan for saving all our patients. We can take them in 15 minutes. We have to be confident. We should have some contingency plan. How we will deal with them? We will bring other departments to help us. Okay? So this kind of emergency plan we must have. For example, you are working in radiology. Okay? They will ask you to do the X-ray for the patient when they are outside. The patients are outside now. They will ask you for. So what you will do? What you will tell them? I don't have X-ray. Can you tell them like that? You must tell them, no, we will do the X-ray. So you must have some contingency plan. How you will continue your operation? Okay, you are dealing with the patient now outside. Okay, so you need some equipments there, right? You need some equipments to treat them. So we don't have this. So let the patient die. You cannot say like that. So you must have contingency plan for your unit. What you will do, how you will continue your operation, even you are outside, or even you are inside. Okay. Contingency plan is clear, right? The concept is clear. So what the objective is to increase our efficiency. Okay, increase our efficiency during the disasters. To deal with the disaster situation, we have to increase our efficiency. Okay, these are the important things that we should know. Okay, this is the requirement. First thing is names and titles of all staff to be called during disaster. Whom we have to call if there is a disaster. Okay, or you are a charge nurse. Whom you have to call. This is very important point. Okay, if you don't inform the right member, maybe your supervisor or head someone, okay, it can be disastrous. For example, you have seen some dust is coming in the AC, okay, in your department. Okay, so you saw that at 2 o'clock. Okay, some bad smell came. Okay, then you will just keep quiet. it stopped and you kept quiet. Okay, this can affect other department. This can turn into fire, turn into big disaster. It can happen. It can happen. So as you are working in hospital, you cannot see the dust and smell. It went, okay, halas, I will just sit. No, you cannot do like that. You have to inform your supervisor. This smell has come. This is something. Something problem has happened. You have to inform immediately to the maintenance. To the maintenance first, to your head of department. Even if it happens at 2 o'clock in the night, you have to inform. Okay, for example, what is the number of maintenance? Huh? Please, huh? I didn't hear. What is the number? Maintenance number, maintenance. 8888. Okay. What if they don't clip the call? The power, something has, the dust has come. Okay. Smell is coming, bad smell is coming. 2 o'clock night, and you call 8888. They don't clip the call. Then what do you do? Okay, I called. Okay. Now it's my finish. My responsibility is finished. You cannot say like this. As you are working in hospital, you cannot say like this. You have to inform. If they are not lifting the call, then you have to call the emergency contact numbers to the maintenance manager, maybe to the someone, FMS, someone. You will call them. If nobody is lifting the call CEO. Okay. So, yani, what I am telling, it's very important to notify. If you don't notify, that's a big concern. Okay. So, what is your responsibility here? What do you understand? What is your responsibility? The main responsibility that we have to notify the problem, even if it happens anytime. You have to notify the problem. Okay. Control room locations. Okay. We will come this. Control room locations, like where there is a disaster, a control room will be formed. Okay. You have to know the location. Otherwise, you cannot give the information there, right? Okay, procedure to relocate. How you will relocate the patients? Okay. For example, you have 8 beds in ICU. Okay. How many beds do you have? Okay. 2 beds maybe, evacuation beds. You will take them. What about other patients? Where you will relocate them? You will take them on the corridor. If he is a critical patient, for example, ICU has a critical patient, right? Usually they have critical patient. You cannot put them in the corridor, right? You can put them on the corridor. Some patients, no. So where you will take them? Relocation, how you will relocate? You should have plan. Clear? Even in OR for example. Okay, surgery is going on and there is a fire and you have to close the case and take them outside. How you are going to take them? Okay, so there should be contingency plan. They will be doing this all in the drills. Okay, procedure for relocation of patients. Individual responsible for announcing. Who will be announcing code red? Okay, whom you have to inform. Okay, who will be calling the civil defense? So there should be some responsibilities assigned. Dealing with electrical supply. If there is a power for fire, okay, you usually power off the panel, electrical panel. Are you doing that? The nurses or other staff? Okay, we are not doing that, right? Electrical supply, who will shut off? If it is needed, the maintenance will shut off electrical supply. Who will shut off the medical gas? Medical gas units, the units. Who will shut off that? The electrical, the maintenance will shut off. Okay, who will shut off the medical gas? Medical gas, oxygen. Who will shut off? If you have to go and you have to shut off this medical gas, okay, you have to evacuate. Who will shut off? Charge nurse. Charge nurse in charge. Okay. So you cannot just like say like this in front of surveyor. The surveyor asks, you have to say charge nurse in charge. Okay. The meeting points for staff in case of partial evacuation, total evacuation. If you are doing the horizontal evacuation, where you will meet? If there is a race and pass, where you are meeting usually? In the same floor, at the elevator there is assembly point. Have you seen that? All participate in the drills, fire drills. Okay. And total evacuation. For example, There is a there is a fire drill first code red. Okay, code red. You will come to the horizontal evacuation. The emergency team will come. They will check. They cannot handle the situation. They will ask the management and request them for total evacuation. Management will approve total evacuation for total evacuation. Then it will be announced total evacuation. Where you will go at that time? Where is your assembly point? Outside hospital. Outside hospital, accommodation side and ER side, both are there. ER side will be for the patients. ER will receive the patients. You will go accommodation side. It is your assembly point. Okay? Clear? So you know the difference between horizontal evacuation, total evacuation, or partial or total evacuation. What is the partial evacuation? In the same floor. Same floor. Total evacuation? Outside hospital. Clear? Okay. Disaster ration pass you must know. You are working in hospital, you have to know ration pass. Okay. Location of fire equipment, how many fire equipments, what types you have to know. Okay. Recovery plan. After the disaster, you have to come back to normal. That's you have to know.